What's up? We're so back. I'm in the UK again. I was in the States for so long, since December 8th, so over a month I was back in the States, and it ruled. It was awesome. I love Atlanta, Georgia so much. It was so much fun. I got to see all my friends and stay with my girlfriend, and it was beautiful. It was basically just a month-long vacation, which, as you could imagine, is incredible. It also coincided with the new year, which meant New Year's resolutions. I don't know how many of y'all do these seriously. I never typically do, but I saw this amazing clip of Ray Bradbury giving a speech, and he's talking about ideas and how to live a what he calls a delightful life, and it's incredible. Hopefully, maybe I'll try and link the video of it or something in the description of this video. But I wanted to talk about what I think is probably one of the best reading resolutions you could ever make, because I've been doing it since I saw this video, and it's been incredibly fun. And the premise is basically this: Bradbury is talking to a crowd of people, and under the premise of, he says, I want you to be madly in love with ideas on all levels, madly in love with ideas. And he says this because he says a delightful life, which everyone should be in pursuit of, a delightful life. A delightful life is a popcorn machine in your head, which is beautiful. It's basically, ideas should be popping up all over the place. And the way you do that, the way you cultivate that, that kind of creativity and that excitement about being alive, is you fill your head with other ideas. You can't have the popping of kernels if you have no kernels in your head to pop. And so what he suggests is this. The premise is, every day, he says every night, but people got stuff to do. I don't know. Every day, wherever you can squeeze it in, read one poem, read one short story, and read one essay from any field, from any genre. Read widely, read small, local stuff, famous stuff, whatever you want. Read one poem, one short story, one essay a day. And it seems like a lot because it's 3 different tasks. So I love this idea. I think it's great. He says he says this phrase, I want you to be madly in love with ideas. And I just think that's so beautiful. And he says it's like not for any serious reason at all, right? Don't go into this trying to be like, ooh, I want to get educated about this. I want to, take this and bring it into my professional life, or be in pursuit of success. The idea is to do it because it's fun, and to do it to enrich your life, and to give yourself a delightful life. And so I've been doing it for a few days now. And what I'm reading, for the poems I'm reading every day, are from Jack Straws by Charles Simic. This is actually a first edition copy that I got over this break, which I'll almost certainly make another video about. The essays I'm reading are from Philip Pullman's Demon Voices. Some of you might know that I'm obsessed with this guy, and The Golden Compass was like my favorite book or series of books last year. I've made like 4 videos about Philip Pullman and his dark materials. These are essays / like speeches he's given on creativity, on writing, on stories, responsibilities of storytellers, etc., etc. I just read the first one yesterday. It's great. He's great. And then the short stories I'm reading are from Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson. And some of you might know also, I've talked about Dennis Johnson a good deal. I made one of my first videos about the book Train Dreams, which actually just got a movie adaptation on Netflix, which maybe I should make a video about too. I just recently watched that as well. But yeah, these are early short stories of Dennis Johnson, so that's kind of how I'm doing it. I think the ideal way to do it would be to have like a subscription to a literary journal. Like I have a subscription to the Paris Review, which would be perfect for this, because in that issue are essays, short stories, and poems all in one place. And that rules. That's awesome. But my subscription goes to my girlfriend's place in the United States, so I can't get access to it here. So I'm doing it by book. But yeah, I think this is an incredible metric to use in order to pursue larger reading goals, because I think there's something so vacuous sometimes about hitting just like a certain page count a day or a certain book per day, because it allows you to like read passively. If your goal is to read like 20 or 30 pages a day, you can kind of just brain off, sit there with your book and like flip through it like totally absently. You could be like half paying attention, and you're reading probably even more quickly than you should just to get to your reading goal. Because I've made goals like this in the past where I want to read a book a day or a certain amount of pages per day. And all that happens is I hit those metrics, but I'm reading so quickly that I hardly remember what I just read, or I'm choosing reading material that I think is going to be easy to read, which is the only metric you should ever use when deciding what to read is because you think it's going to be fun and because you think you're going to like it. And so the incentives get a little weird when you just have certain like numbers you want to hit. But this way, because the content is so short already, like one poem, one essay, one short story, all of those things are so small, metrics are so small, that you can give them the proper time and attention that they deserve, and that will enrich your life. And part of the assets too, if you don't do them how I'm doing them, like big batching them in books, you can read an essay in all different types of fields. You could read philosophy, art, history, science. You could read an essay on math if you wanted to. I don't know. But you can read from all these different places. And then let's say you're reading an essay about art history, and you're reading a short story that explores some sort of philosophy, like a Hermann Hesse short story or something. And you can start making these connections, right, between like, ooh, this idea in this philosophy short story and this art history essay, I can see the link here. And that's really, that's amazing. That's like wiring your brain to see these connections across cultures, across times, across ideas. And that's one of the other assets, I think, of this resolution, right, is that you are expanding your worldview. Instead of just reading, one book where you get one perspective of one author, but you read it really quickly, you're reading a bunch of different things from all over the place, and that popcorn machine in your head is being filled and ready to pop and pop and pop the more you do it. So, yeah, all of that is to say, it's a phenomenal video. I think it's a phenomenal idea. I think it's probably the most excited I've been about a reading resolution since ever, I think. So, yeah, I wanted to share it with y'all. I can't believe it took me so long to see this speech of Bradbury's, who is somebody I admire a ton. All of his writing advice I've always loved. He's a man who approaches the world in a fundamentally unserious way, which is not to say he's not earnest. He's perhaps one of the most earnest people I've ever heard speak, but he just hasn't lost touch with what art and reading is about. And yeah, so hopefully this is useful to some of y'all. I know I'm a little late. It's already like mid-January, so some of you have maybe already made resolutions. But Who cares? Make a January 15th resolution. Let that be the start of your new year. If you like this idea and want to do it, let me know, and maybe I'll make some like update videos or progress videos, or check in with how I'm doing with this resolution, because I think that would be fun. That would hold me accountable. It could maybe make it so that we're doing this thing together. Yeah, and it's good to be back. I can't believe y'all are still watching these videos. So thank you so much, and I'm sure I'll make a few more videos soon.